Dennis Weiss, welcome to our town here at the Eisenhower Presidential Library Museum Boyhood Home in the Executive Director Don Hammett's office. And we have such a wide things we're talking about today. We couldn't even start with the list. It's going to be a real high-octane interview.
You're starting already, aren't you?
Yes. So, thank you for letting us in the door one more time.
You know we love you visiting.
Yeah, great. So, what are we talking about today?
Well, the good news is that the museum renovation has begun.
That is good news.
It is good news. So, our demolition contractors are on site. They're working super fast. And they've gotten through several of the galleries already and like pulling down the exhibit walls.
Okay.
And in one of the galleries, they're already pulling down the drop ceiling.
How about if we change the name from demolition crew to modification crew?
If that's what makes you happy.
I think it would make me happy because the one person that just walked by the TV and heard
demolition.
The news will
the
go
modification
viral.
crew.
The modification crew.
Yeah.
The positive enhancement crew. Taking down a few old things to build some new things, and it's going to be great.
It really is going to be great. We're very excited. From the exhibit point of view, we are doing the detail work now of choosing maps, specifically choosing photographs that we're going to use. It's down to the very nitty-gritty details.
So you're having a little fun right now then,
It is fun. It is fun. So we get this document, and it has all the photos and where the photo is going to show up in the exhibit, and the citation and the text that's going with the photo. So we get to go through it and go, oh, that's not exactly correct, or that's we have a better photo to use, or.
So are you driving the boys crazy yet?
I'm really trying not to.
You're saving them till the last.
I'm really trying not to. I'm doing the whole, like, this is due in 2 weeks.
The kinder and gentler approach to managing reconstruction.
With a smile.
With a smile. Okay. Well, I think that news never gets old, is that the future here at the museum is going to be fantastic for Eisenhower, Mission 1.
Absolutely.
Fantastic for Abilene, Mission 2, and fantastic for every visitor from all over the world for a long time.
Well, and what we as a community need to be prepared for is, statistically in museums, what we find after a major renovation like this, there's a giant upswing in visitation for about 15 to 18 months. And then after about 15 to 18 months, it drops off to where it was before. So I'm hoping that Abilene is prepared for.
I think we're building a new hotel up north. I hear word of that.
Well, that's
around.
good news.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, I think maybe somebody watched your last program. You said, get ready, Abilene.
Get ready.
Yeah, it'll be good. So we have temporary exhibit right outside, which I always get here early enough to go through.
That's where we find you.
Mental inventory on things that change, and I have a complaint for the boys. You know, it's never really a complaint. It's just, I call it that.
Is it a spelling error?
You know, I'm not the spelling guy. Ask my daughter. I am a big picture guy. So the exhibit says about the civil rights section of Dwight David Eisenhower, who was the guy who signed the Civil Rights Bill, not JFK, right? Just pointing that out because I had a guy ask me about it some years ago. So anyway, and it's talking about the Central High School event in Arkansas, and it says, your exhibit says, Eisenhower was forced to send the 101st Airborne. No. Eisenhower wasn't forced to send the 101st Airborne. He was put into a position that the right choice was to deploy some members of the armed forces. I think he was very particularly unforced to send the 101st Airborne. That's an Eisenhower-only decision to say, if I need to send federal troops, I think I'm going to send a message here.
So what I'm doing in my head, though, is saying, so who do we call about this word choice? Do we call the person who wrote it or the person who edited it?
I think I'm calling the lady who runs the place. That's what
Semantics.
Yeah, I don't
think semantics issue.
No, you know, so my best friend in high school one time said to me, "You're the only person in the world would ever see that." So not the first
I see
time.
I see grammar errors.
Yeah.
I find misplaced modifiers.
Oh, I don't know about that, but I'm pretty sure Eisenhower wasn't forced to send the 101st Airborne.
Well,
I think he chose to.
I will bring it up in a meeting. And
At the highest level?
The highest level.
Okay. And I will feel mollified when I walk through there and see an asterisk that says,
whatever it takes,
sticky
Dennis.
note. I mean, you could do it just when I come, right? You wouldn't have to make it part of the whole exhibit. Just, Dennis is coming. Let's put this sticky note up.
All right.
I'll feel better about it.
Okay. Whatever it takes.
Okay. All right. But it's a great temporary exhibit. The guys really have outdone themselves at not only what's in it, but the viewing angle. I noticed this morning as I'm going through. So they put these little glass panes on the back sides of some things, on the
It's kind of like fins.
on the corners
Right.
of the exhibits where you can peek at multiple angles. Really, really well done.
Well, I'm pleased that you said that because it's a limited space, so you have to be creative with how you present the objects.
Jeff and Troy and William and the boys.
Don't forget
done.
Shannon. Shannon worked on it too.
Well done. All right, so we probably ought to get to what you wanted to talk about.
Probably. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was that the renovation has begun, and our summer hours are over, and now we're going into the fall weather.
Right.
And it's a great time for our locals to come and visit us.
It is.
So to that end, I also wanted to talk about some of the new objects we have in the gift shop so that our locals can come swing by and check out the merchandise.
The other great big building that's still open.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay.
Absolutely. So right here in front of us, we have some Moser glass. These are lovely pieces, and apparently the pink is new. So we're doing this Mamie pink section with our Moser glass.
Okay.
This is made in Ohio. And from what I understand, the foreman from the original factory opened Moser glass because the original factory that made this closed. So the foreman opened another one.
Oh.
How neat is that?
I think it's for economic revitalization. Great story.
In Ohio. And then to go along with some of the Mamie things, we have these little beautiful, some of our images, but Janet from Darby, I believe, presses these flowers, and so she frames. There's a bunch of different pieces too. There's maybe coasters or jewelry. I'm not sure what, but these are the pieces that we're putting out with Mamie. It's just really
great
lovely.
Images put into a nice presentation.
Yeah,
so
and
people can take it home.
Well, the little flowers are sweet too.
Price right there in the back. So
The
all they have
flowers
to
are
do
very
is walk in with desire and a debit card, and away they go.
That's all we ask.
Okay.
And then we got a bunch of new books that I thought you would like.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do books.
Okay, so this one is D-Day Through German Eyes.
It wasn't a good view. Subtitle.
I'm glad you're not in publishing.
What?
I haven't read this book yet. I just saw it. And Tim, who's our gift shop manager, said it is harrowing.
Get a close-up of this, David Hawksworth, right over my
Harrowing.
finger. It wasn't a good view.
No, I mean, I saw the
well
bullet
taken.
hole in the...
Okay. Wasn't.
We have this book. It's Images of War
Moving
from
me off
Normandy.
of this one.
This is from the Battle of the Hedgerows. So it's this photograph heavy.
I have had this one in my hands. Yeah. It's a great book.
Do we need to get it on your bookshelf?
Probably. The photos are unbelievable. You know,
I
black
didn't-
and white. First of all, just black and white. You want to make an image stand out, the black and white photos of these years. You can't get better than that. But these are the photos of the people embedded, truly embedded with our advancement forces.
So this is another one I'll need to purchase as well.
Yep. Terrific. The Battle of the Hedgerows. Technologically, those hedgerows are probably the most difficult thing our invasion forces had to overcome because we were wholly unprepared for them. Didn't have anything to breach them with. American ingenuity, we quickly took some armor, modified it into a bulldozer, if you will, but we also, with your mulberry harbors that you're going to have new ones in the new museum, offloaded more simply earth-moving equipment to be able to deal with those
Those Mulberry Harbors were amazing.
They were.
This is a guide to the D-Day invasion in Normandy, and it's really sort of an easy read with a lot of images. This reminds me of the DK books that my kids had when they were little. Did your kids have DK books?
Nope.
I bet they did, and you just don't know what they are.
What are they?
Dorleen Kindersley, I think, is the name of the publisher, and they created these books, a lot of books for children about all kinds of stuff, like sea life and castle life, and they were like this, where they had pieces of information and a lot of images that helped you understand.
Nice book.
It's a beautiful book.
I would say if you had a young person from 8 to 18, that would be pretty good book to prime the pump on further things to be interested.
Yeah, I think that'd be great in schools. And then this one I'm really excited about because it's from Classics Illustrated, which apparently is an old cartoon comic book.
Yes, this is a picture that people who know Classics Illustrated will remember.
So somebody started reprinting them. So this
cool.
is the old...
Oh, wow.
Isn't that interesting?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I opened this...
Where did your staff find that?
They're magic, I'm telling you. They're magic. I opened this and I think of my nephew who never liked to read, but I think he would love graphic novels and comics like this.
Yeah. That's really interesting. Hey, just had a thought from your temporary exhibit in D-Day. So Eisenhower in his pocket had the note that said, in event of a failure, you know, this is my decision, this is my responsibility. If it failed, it's on
Mine
me.
alone. Yep.
Mine alone. I discovered in your temporary exhibit this morning when he wrote that note, 1939. Yeah, caught you, didn't I? So, with his relationship with MacArthur, when he worked for MacArthur in 1939 in the Philippines to prepare that island for freedom. And it was over a military parade. There was an idea floated, a military parade. It's documented. You can come look at it yourself out there. And MacArthur idea to have a parade, and he kind of put Eisenhower in charge of it, of the idea and the implementation. And Eisenhower, the organizational genius that he was, followed his task and had the parade. There was criticism about the parade. And MacArthur said, oh, I just floated the idea. Ike did that parade. See, that's the antithesis of the note that Eisenhower had in his pocket. I think that really, just a Dennis Weiser here, but once something like that happens to you from a structured leadership position like that, I think Mr. Eisenhower said, I will never be that guy.
Exactly.
I will never be that guy. A decision I make, I will own.
Well, and now, you know, we can trace all of that through email, but
yes, pretty hard then.
It couldn't have happened then.
Right.
So then, those are some of the things in the gift shop.
You can come to the temporary exhibit and form your own opinions.
That's the point,
right?
Yeah, that's the point. So we have some programming coming up.
Okay.
We haven't. You and I haven't talked about programming in a while. Do you know that?
Yeah, no, we have not, and I think that's your fault.
Probably.
Yes, because you're the boss.
Probably. So August 14th, I don't know when this is going to air, so this might be in the past.
Nope, I think we'll make that.
Okay, August 14th for our evening event, we will have Phil Dixon here, and he's going to talk about the Kansas City Monarchs.
He's been here before.
Which is with this book.
Yes, okay.
So
great story.
It is a great story. He's going to be here to sign books if you want. So this is about the Negro Leagues, and that this team, the Kansas City Monarchs, was the first to play with lighting, exterior lighting.
Night game.
They had the most players go into the major leagues than any other team.
And the name of the famous pitcher just flew out of my head that I wanted to make a comment on. It's probably in the first page of the book. Satchel Paige. Nice to have a cameraman who loves baseball. Satchel Paige.
He knows everything.
Satchel Paige played for the Monarchs, did his stint, and Satchel was 40-something when he did that. He's an unbelievable pitcher in any measurement, but he did so in that era of discrimination and segregation. But he physically could, if he were here today, at 25 or 30, could compete easily with the best pitchers in baseball. He was a phenomenal guy.
Wow.
And Dave knows all that, the guy behind the camera. I just repeat it because I read it.
Because you listen to Dave too.
I do listen to
That's
Dave.
good. Then on August the 23rd, we have our Lunch and Learn with Mark Eberly. And this is Mark Eberly's book. And he will be talking about Ike and baseball.
Oh.
And whether Ike was a professional baseball player or not.
The Eisenhower controversy.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So Mark Eberly has studied Kansas baseball, and he has some things to tell us about Ike.
I remember hearing about this. I'm not really a baseball fan, but I remember hearing about this after I became associated with the camera in Eisenhower. So I read what I could find, and here was my thought. Isn't it nice that this is a controversy?
Yeah, this is the I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. The controversies are sort of...
Yeah, sort of, yes.
Yeah,
not much.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Then on September 10th is going to be our book talk for the September month, and it's going to be on The Worst Hard Time from Timothy Egan, and that's about the Dust Bowl days. So what Timothy Egan did was did oral history interviews with people who lived through the Dust Bowl times, and so he tells the stories of these people and how they lived through the Dust Bowl times, why they continued to stay in these situations, in this place, literally.
Many didn't.
Many didn't, but so he's going to talk about all of that. Who left, what decisions they had to make to decide to leave, what decisions were made to decide to stay. I'm looking forward to that.
I think you'll probably have a unique perspective on that. You know, people who grow up here, you take for granted, you know, Grandpa lived through the Dust Bowl, so you heard that story and maybe it doesn't come top of mind, but from somebody who didn't live here and doesn't have roots here, it's hard to imagine the difficulty of that time.
My only knowledge of it is through just a handful of movies. And so I always think about the silica in the kids' lungs and how horrible. I can't imagine.
Well, if you live in an old house like I do, 100-and-something-year-old house, and you decide to take plaster and lath down, you see black dirt that blew in through the...
Really?
Oh, yeah. Blew in through the exterior cracks, and then the plaster and lath traps it. So the walls are full of black dirt. And that's from those days. Can you imagine living with that?
I can't.
Yeah.
Well, we're about to open up some walls. Should I look
You'll
for it?
You'll probably see some.
Even here? Even in Abilene?
Yeah.
I'll have to
Out
look.
in western Kansas, you don't.
It'll be worse.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for the history lesson, the Kansas history lesson. On September 22nd, this is a big day. It's Smithsonian Museum Day. So the museums across the country that register with Smithsonian Museum Day allow free admission for 2. Now you have to go to the Smithsonian Magazine's website, which is smithsonianmag.org.
All right.
They have a .com, smithsonianmag.com.
Dave will fix it. He fixes all my mistakes.
Let's double check it.
Bless Dave. Smithsonian Museum Day Live. What's live implicate?
It's just this one day, so we're all participating on this one day.
All right.
So you can go, on the Smithsonian website, there's a list of museums that are participating.
Right.
And you download your tickets and you can go to these museums on September the 22nd.
Okay.
That's a great thing.
That's a cool thing. The Smithsonian is a place you can never live long enough to even go through what they have.
Absolutely.
Out, much less
they had we saw some photographs recently of their biological collection in storage, and it's just drawer after drawer after drawer after drawer.
That would be probably your ideal dream vacation.
Oh, to go through the collection storage area?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
So I think there was a program my children pulled me out as I walked by and sat down and watched a few of it. Warehouse 13 or something like that came to mind. It was this, Dave will have to tell me what the rest of it was, but it was this warehouse full of stuff, and of course it had mystical things about it, but it was a warehouse full of artifacts.
It sounds like national treasure.
Exactly. When I first saw it, I just said, my goodness, we really have a real one of those in this country, and it's the Smithsonian.
It's true. It's true, and the National Archives. I mean, the collection at the National Archives is astounding. Astounding. The Declaration of Independence? What? Who owns that?
We do. Yes. That's a NARA plug there.
A NARA plug.
2 minutes.
All right, well
what?
then, 2 minutes. Then my last thing that I need to talk about.
20 minutes.
He meant 20 minutes. Is the Eisenhower Foundation's Legacy Gala.
Have to get this in.
Yes, we have to get this in. So the tickets, the invitations are going to be mailed the week of September 3rd. The event is Saturday, October 13th. It's always the weekend of Ike's birthday.
Fantastic event. Always is. Will be again.
Well, this year we are celebrating the inception of NASA. So Dr. Steve Hawley, an astronaut, will be our guest speaker.
Is he not from Kansas?
He's from Salina.
Huh?
So we're really excited. The foundation is overjoyed that they were able to book him to come and speak to us about his exploits in NASA for the Legacy Gala.
Well, it's going to be a great time. Gosh, you ran us out of time, Dawn.
It's you.
How do you do this every time?
And you didn't say anything about my new pen.
No, I didn't even give you a test either. Don't let this happen to you. Vote for Ike, and it had a hole in the bottom of the shoes. What that?
So what I had to ask, because I didn't get it. Adelaide Stephen was at a speaking engagement, and he crossed his feet, and he had a hole in his shoe.
Oh yeah.
And so everybody made fun of him that they can't even take care of you because they can't even take care of themselves. So you have to vote for Ike.
I was at an event in Boston a couple of years ago, and Chris Matthews was on stage, and he crossed his legs, and he had a hole in the bottom of his shoe too.
Well, there you go.
I didn't know they had like Stevenson thing, or I would have referenced that. Okay, now Dave, we're out of time.
Okay.
Gosh, can't wait till next month. It's going to be exciting. I'll defer your test on high-octane fuel and how we won the war.
30 more days to study.
30 more days to study. But you can look into that if you want to.
And call me.
Yes, you can call Don Hammett here at the library when you know why 150 octane fuel was the difference between winning and losing in the skies over Europe. For the Eisenhower Presidential Library, this is Don Hammett. I work for Eagle Communications. My name is Dennis Weiss. Thanks for watching Our Town. Have a great day.